Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, March 31st, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Persons who attained properties illegally could have them taken away without a conviction as part of the civil forfeiture under the Proceeds of Crime Act 2013. This was pointed out earlier today at the opening ceremony of a training workshop organized by the Financial Intelligence Unit, in which the participants are being provided with the information and strategies necessary to effectively utilize the civil assets recovery provisions that are contained in the new Proceeds of Crime Act passed in December 2013. Financial Crimes Advisor at the International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs Section at the U.S. Embassy, Nicola Suter, says the workshop is all about putting into practice the Proceeds of Crime Act 2013.
The Proceeds of Crime Act passed in St. Vincent last year, and what the civil recovery part of the Proceeds of Crime Act means is that the Attorney General can now recover in civil proceedings property that can be proven in the court to the requisite standard has been obtained through criminality. This doesn't mean that the Attorney General will start recovering property willy-nilly around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This means that she will be targeting property that she can prove in the court has been obtained through criminalities.
She states that many of the islands in the Caribbean and globally have the issue of criminals who are able to achieve extreme wealth and can easily distance themselves from their criminal activities.
They delegate that further down the chain, and they're very, very hard to catch and they're hard to prosecute. This legislation means that we can tackle those serious criminal characters by going after their property, the illegally acquired property. It's not fair that we live shoulder to shoulder in our community with people who are not working, they're living in a mansion and they're driving a Hummer. And I think all of the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines would like to see us be able to tackle this situation in some way. And this is what this legislation does. It is there to tackle criminal kingpins. It is there to take away the people who are living in the mansions, and they are buying that property by drug trafficking, arms trafficking, any sorts of criminal activity.
The Financial Crimes Advisor further states that while criminals are getting smarter, legal authorities are being urged to do likewise.
Gives us another tool to be smart, and we have to keep up with criminals and we have to find new ways of tackling crime. That doesn't mean to say we are irresponsible. We have to follow due process. We have to bring in legislation that is tested by the Parliament, it is tested through debate to make sure that it is constitutional, and we believe that it is, and to make sure that citizens are protected. They're protected in their property, but they're protected against criminals who are acquiring property illegally. So it's important law, and it's very, very good law. And yes, you're right, criminals are smart and we need this legislation.
The ruling Unity Labour Party's 13th anniversary celebration heard its leader, Dr. Gonsalves, again signaling the possibility of St. Vincent and the Grenadines holding early general elections. During the ULP's annual national convention on February 2nd at the Bethel High School, Prime Minister Gonsalves told party supporters to get on their marks for general elections as he seeks a fourth term in office. And while the general elections are constitutionally due in 2015, Prime Minister Gonsalves on Saturday evening in Barley alluded to a snap general election, telling the large gathering that the main opposition New Democratic Party will be given a short rope between now and the next general elections. The rally, which was held under the theme 13 Years of Good Governance, saw scores of well-wishers and supporters of the ruling Unity Labour Party decked in red congregating in the Central Leeward constituency to mark the occasion.
Countryman, I know the saying, the same rope which does hang sheep is the same rope which does hang goat. And I want to say this, as a man further from the country, it's not long rope that's hang cattle, you know. It's short rope. And we're going to give in the peer short rope as we go between now to the next general election.
Dr. Gonsalves commended all those who have contributed to the developmental work of SVG over the past 13 years, adding that those who have contributed towards the progress but are not supporters of his ULP must be brought on board so that the ULP can be stronger going into the next general elections.
And in the next elections, to win at least 13 and possibly 14 of the seats, including the Southern Grenadines. I realize for us to take the Northern Grenadines would require a near miracle. But the NDP is dealing with Sir James Mitchell in a manner as though they want to bring about a miracle and lose all of them.
Meanwhile, during his address to the large gathering, Dr. Gonsalves, who is also Minister of Finance, spoke of the April 2nd sitting of Parliament when the supplementary estimates of $83.9 million will be debated following the December 24th trough system. A post-mortem examination carried out on the body of British national John Edward Gardner on Friday, according to the police, shows that he died as a result of multiple trauma in keeping with blast injuries. According to the police, the post-mortem also showed that Gardner suffered a ruptured heart, aorta, and stomach, and also had injuries to the head and ribs. Gardner was found floating in the waters of Buckerment next to his burning catamaran, Asante, which sank. The police states that the Britishman arrived in the state on January 19, 2014 via plane along with his wife Heidi Hukilas and was granted an extension to remain in the state no longer than April 19, 2014. At the time of the incident, an earlier police report stated that they were seeking the whereabouts of Gardner's wife as they had no knowledge of her leaving the state at any time at any of the airports or seaports. However, it was later revealed that Gardner's wife left the state on Tuesday, March 25th via the JF Mitchell Airport. This information was then confirmed by the police, who in today's news release stated that she is not a person of interest at this time. The release further stated that the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has been in contact with the British High Commission and Gardner's relatives and that investigations are ongoing. A 41-year-old Trinidad and Tobago national, Desmond Pavey, who escaped the Belle-Isle prison facility, has been captured in his home country. According to information out of Trinidad and Tobago, Pavey was arrested in a police exercise in Sangre Grande last Tuesday night. It is reported that after his arrest, background tracings were done on him, and it was during such time it was discovered that he had warrants to be extradited to St. Vincent for escaping lawful custody. At the time of his escape, Pavey was serving a 9-year jail term at hard labor for trafficking marijuana in 2011. He was also wanted in Trinidad on a similar drug trafficking matter and is expected to reappear in the Sangre Grande court tomorrow, April 1st, and before the chief magistrate on April 23rd. The Calypso semi-finals, dubbed Fantastic Friday, will once again start off the 10 days of carnival activities for Vincy Mas 2014. The announcement was made today by Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Dennis Ambrose, at the first official carnival press conference for the year. Ambrose said following a symposium last November, they took the decision to continue on the path to have the Calypso semis starting off the official 10 days activities.
That last year, the CDC started the program with the Miss Carnival show. But following the symposium, the CDC took the recommendations to go back to the previous type of program of having Calypso semi-finals on June 27th. Pan on July 3rd, and Miss Carnival repositioned to the previous calendar position of July 4th. We believe that this will be more satisfying to a majority of the general public.
Ambrose also pointed out that long-standing private shows will now be added to the official carnival calendar.
You will notice in the program of events published on the view cards that the private events such as Soca Swing and Wet Fit are the two activities which have been ongoing for a number of years. So it was felt fitting to promote them on the view cards. In time, more such events will be added as they become entrenched annual events of the carnival season.
Vincy Mas 2014 will be launched on Saturday, May 3rd at the Solidarity Inc. car park. The other activities on the calendar include Miss SVG May 31st, Soca Swing June 1st, Fantastic Friday June 27th, Junior Carnival and H2O June 28th, Junior Pan Fest June 29th, Junior Calypso and Soca Monarch July 1st, Steel and Glitter Panorama July 3rd, Miss Carnival July 4th, Soca Monarch Raga and Power July 5th, Dimanche Gras July 6th, Juve and Evening Street Party July 7th, and Mardi Gras July 8th. The western end of mainland St. Vincent has dominated the list of girls selected to vie for the Miss SVG title 2014. On Saturday, May 31st, the 8 contestants were named earlier today by Chief Executive Officer of the Carnival Development Corporation, Ashford Wood. They include 3 from the Windward side, 4 from the Leeward end, and 1 from the Grenadines.
From Richland Park, we have Miss Celis Blair. From Sandy Bay, we have Miss Felicia Batiste. From Richland Park, we have Miss Shaquelle Bob. From Edinburgh, Carla Jelliso. From Camden Park, we have Miss Shadisha George. From Chatibele, Miss Vanika Hope. From Beckway, Miss Tatiana Lespierre. And from Vermont, Miss Jamelia Neverson.
As for Miss Carnival 2014, Wood says 8 countries have so far expressed their interest in participating in the show slated for Friday, July 4th.
Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, the Dominican Republic, Guyana, Jamaica, and Venezuela have expressed an interest. A total of 9 countries will be accepted on a first-come, first-served basis.
Notably absent from today's press conference was the chairperson of the Beauty Shows Committee, Cheryl Rodriguez, who the media were told was engaged at her workplace. A controversy between the Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, and super platinum sponsor of Vincy Mas, the St. Vincent Brewery Limited, under the flagship brand Hyroon, is said to be a thing of the past. At today's press conference, Regional Commercial Manager of the St. Vincent Brewery, Shafia London Williams, said the company has signed on to a new 3-year contract with the CDC. Although London Williams did not say what may have caused the friction between the two organizations, she admitted that things were not well between both parties last year. However, all has been ironed out now.
Like they say, in every good relationship, you must have a fight. If there isn't a fight, then it's not healthy. And we are pleased that we had our fight with CDC. But like all good relationships, we have made up, and we are very happy with the direction in which our relationship is going. We have grown. We have already discussed all of the challenges that we may have faced, and we are very much pleased that the CDC and Hyroon will continue its long-lasting relationship.
London Williams further pledged the brewery's support and commitment to Vincy Mas. She said they are specifically hoping to sponsor all rural carnival events this year.
We are hoping to sign all of the rural carnivals this year on the Hyroon. For the mass bands, we will continue our relationships with the majority of the mass bands. Calypso, in fact, is going to be exciting this year, and I know Mr. Ambrose, when we pitched the idea to him, they absolutely loved it, and it will be one that persons will remember forever.
A number of residents from the West St. George constituency has acquired a new skill following the conclusion of the West St. George garment making training program. Narissa Sandy tells us more in this report.
Dresses, bags, purses, clutches, hats, and even skirts are just some of the many items handcrafted by these graduates after having completed 6 weeks of intense training, which was a collaborative effort of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the adult and continuing education.
We are convinced that you are more prepared now to become self-sufficient and marketable, and your professional climb will be an enjoyable and rewarding one.
The graduates who received certificates on Friday did not just involve females, but males as well, who all expressed what the program meant to them.
I can't smile, trust me. I was even surprised at myself that what I could do. You understand? I never could have used a machine, tread a machine, and now I can do it.
I never even know how to use a machine. I came out from Dragon's Mass tent, Blondie Board tent, Melbourne tent in Mass, and I never even got on a machine. And my instructor, the very first day, she put me on a machine and she told me to start and learn to use the machine.
The program for me was a success. I came in this program with a basic knowledge of sewing, but when you see this, tell me.
The second phase of the project is expected to come on stream soon. Narissa Sandy for SVG-TV News.